to the Andy Autos Motorsport channel. Today, we're going to have a little play with the Honda. When I say a little play, both me and my mate have a track day lined up, and basically it's just get cars ready for it. So first things first, since this hasn't been touched in a little while, and it's kind of minging. Workshop dust. The last race that we were both in, someone dumped a load of oil around the track, so they put cement dust down, and believe me, that goes everywhere. So before we touch anything, before we do anything, before we nut and bolt it, you know, go over the normal things. Just going to take it outside, give it a wash, make sure the engine comes up to temp, fans kick in, it controls itself. It's idling quite nicely at the minute. Idle control valve's obviously working, otherwise it wouldn't be idling like that. So yeah, there's no misfires yet. Maybe when I move it, but at the minute there's not. So I'm just going to drag it outside, give it a wash off, give it a bit of a clean down, cleaning the arches, because that's where I'm working. I don't want to be smothered. And I'll catch up with you in a moment. Well, I've just finished cleaning the car. As you can see, it's nice and shiny. So now it's just a nut and bolt check. I know there's a couple of issues with this car, none of which actually affect it, like driving, speed wise, safety wise, but it's more of if you need to do anything in a hurry. So if you go to a race meeting and there's an issue, it's going to take a bit longer than what it could do. I will address these things today, and I'll walk you through what they are. I know one of them, one of the bolts on the brake caliper, it goes in and out, it's perfectly fine. It's just a little bit stiffer than one of the others. So all I'm going to do is just go through, clean the threads up on that. It's probably just something that shouldn't be there. Again, it doesn't come loose, it's just not as nice. Now, this is what the nut and bolt check's for in the workshop. When you're at a race meeting, if you're doing a double header, so one Saturday, one Sunday, Saturday night, you just check over it, make sure everything's tight, make sure it's got oil, water, you know, fluids, stuff like that. But when you're in a workshop, you can take the time to pull the calipers off, check the seals, check dust covers, stuff like that. So basically all I'm going to do today as a workshop nut and bolt check is get it up in the air, all four wheels off, pull the calipers off, make sure that they're all fine. There was no complaints about handling or braking or anything, so as far as I'm concerned, everything's functional. After I cleaned it, I just took it for a quick run up the road. We've got a private road outside the workshop, so just took it up the road, let go of the steering wheel, yeah, it goes in a straight line, hit the brakes, yep, brakes in a straight line. So things like that work. I mean, it's a fairly fresh build. It was built earlier part of this year. It's done one race at the end of the year, and there was no real issues with that, touch wood. But you know, whilst I've got time in the workshop, I'm just going to pull a couple of things off, you know, things that I think are going to be issues. But as we go through the year, you might find that you don't have any brake issues. Brake issues aren't the problem, it's a drive shaft. Drive shafts are well known for going bang, so instead of checking the brakes every time, which you'll do anyway, you spend more time checking the drive shaft. So you learn things with time. I know with my car, past couple of years, drive shafts every single time, and I'd spend most of my time checking the drive shaft, checking the CV boots, repacking them with grease, stuff like that, rather than, you know, I say other things. But I still went over brakes, checked that the brake pads are all, you know, got enough meat on them and that. You learn with your car, but things need to be right, so that when you're in a hurry at the racetrack, things come apart, and that 2-minute job is a 2-minute job. You don't want that 2-minute job turning into an hour's job because, oh, this bolt won't come out, or oh, it's stripped thread as it's come out, and stuff like that. Stay away from that. Just take the time in the workshop to make sure it's right, and that's all I'm going to do today. You know, nice easy day. I'll get it up in the air. If I find any issues, apart from what I know is already, if I find any issues, I'll bring you along. But just for a quick overview, I might bring you along for a couple of other bits, just show you what we do. Nice and easy. It's a couple of hours, but a couple of hours well spent if you do it right. So if I see any issues, you'll know, and I'll probably just grab the camera at some point. Oh, this is what I'm doing, and go from there. So I'll see you in a moment. Right, immediately, all I've done is got it up in the air, 4 axle stands underneath it, you know, got the wheels off, and the first wheel I took off, I'm not going to say it's an issue, it's not at all. I noticed something, and all that's going to happen is the car's going to go faster after we've cured it. But this is front tyre. We run in a controlled tyre class, so everyone runs the same tyre. I run the same tyre as the mate does, and I'm just noticing one thing. Now, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to pass the camera across the tyre. I don't know how well it's going to pick up what I can see, but I'll show you anyway. I don't think it's going to come out that well, but from what I can see, bearing in mind this is the outside, this part here has loads of tread on it. This part here is getting down, and this part here is again worn equally. This half is worn equal. You know, you can see the tread wearing away from here, it's wearing away from here, but it's not here. Now at a quick glance you'd say, oh, tyres are overinflated. No, I think there's too much negative on the front of this. I've done the geo check before I got it up in the air, and it's exactly as it was when I left it last. So let's run round to this side and look at this side tyre. Now again, it's the outside. This one's wearing a lot nicer. This one's a lot more uniformly worn. So I think it might be time for a little rejig. Now the camber's the same both sides, but where we go round right-handers, it leans on this left tyre a lot more. So maybe I've just found him a little bit of time just going through left-hand bends where he's leaning on the right, because it doesn't look like he's using the whole of the tread. So again, little things that you pick up. Some people might overlook it, but it's there. It's nice and easy to see. So I'll mention it to him when I see him, and we'll go from there. And I'm just going to continue on checking that things are right. So In a mo. Found another thing. Quick visual inspection of the brakes. Front pads, perfect. They were put in beginning of the meeting, so they're fine. Rears were put in when this was built. We've already gone through one front set of pads, and the rears were new. They were new at the first set of pads, so they've done sort of 2 sets of front pads, and this is the rears. They're desperate. So what I've done is just a nice little list on the windscreen. Masking tape, rear pads, desperate, 95% worn. There we go, nice and easy. Smack bang in a driver's field of view. This car's going nowhere without looking at that. There we go. Just a visual inspection without him taking them off. I've also noticed another little issue, which I was saying about the 2-minute job. Well, when this was built at the factory, the towing eye for this EP3 Civic is all the way under there, right out the way. Listen. We're not allowed that in UK racing. We must have a nice little tow strap, strong enough to pull the vehicle's weight, which is a bit of a crap rule. I could probably put a bit of string on there and pull the vehicle's weight. But when you're axle deep in gravel, you really need that to be strong. And when it was built, no issue. That thing is not moving. However, you're not taking the subframe out either. Just another thing. That bracket's welded to the subframe, which is perfectly strong, perfectly safe. But to get the subframe down, if you need to do a gearbox in a hurry, it's a Honda, it's not going to be that much of a hurry, but you've got to start taking the towing eye off, and more work than what you would have wanted. So that's another little issue. So that's going to go on the windscreen. Yeah, simple things. That could take you another 20 minutes on top of the job. Last thing you want on a Saturday morning. Been there, done that, didn't enjoy it. Lesson learnt. So yeah, such fun. Right, I'm underneath the car, just having a check, exhaust hangers, stuff like that. Anti-roll bar bushes, and just found this up underneath the engine on the oil filter. So, excuse the bad footage, but swap hands. There's a very light coloured oil mark on that oil filter. Now if I can find somewhere to put the torch, so wedge my torch in place. Somewhere like that. This is fun. Not like that, like that. Good old Tommy Cooper. That mark on the oil filter perfectly lines up with the CV boot on the drive shaft. There we go, that's a bit better. Now, it's not only that, come down here, you can see it on the back of the block and on the sump, somewhere around there. And back over here, you can see it down here and all that. That's drive shaft grease. That inner CV has an issue. Probably going to need to be removed and re-greased. I just hope it's nothing more, because these drive shafts aren't cheap. But we'll see. Well, I've just texted my mate, said to him, you know, seen this, seen this, seen this. He said, oh, whilst you're there, can you just check? I thought there was a vibration on the steering wheel. Well, yeah, no problem, of course. So I've had a look round, can't see anything on the car. Then something on the wheel caught my eye. And this is a very, very real issue. If you're a circuit racer, this is something you might need to be aware of, that I've just spotted on this car. And this is, excuse the hands, that's a chunk of rubber. Okay, size comparison. That's a big chunk of rubber. Probably weighs 15-20 grams. Well, that's what they put on it to balance the tyre. So if you've got that thrown to the outside of the wheel, oh, there's another chunk there. Another one there. Another one here. That one's well solid. I'll dig that one off in a bit. There you go. I think I found the vibration issue. I'm going to wind him up, tell him he needs to go faster to get rid of them. Can't say too much, because he went quicker than me. I'm still going to wind him up though. Another thing to look out for. Well, that's the nut and bolt check finished. Some other things I found. One of the front discs has cracked. Both of them had started, well, both of them have got crazing on it. That sort of looks like crazy paving. And all it is just hairline surface skin fractures. And when I pulled the calipers off to brake cleaner them down, one of them had cracked, and that was hiding under the pads. So a pair of front discs needed, a pair of rear pads needed. Yeah, just the other things that we'd gone through. Everything's checked, everything's greased. Apart from that, it's fairly mint underneath. For I can't remember what year it is. I think it's a 2003. I think it's a 2003 car. There's no signs of rust. There's no signs of damage on it as such. Oh, one other thing I did realise that I think I covered. I did think, yeah, I did cover it about the toe strap. Yeah, I did. So when I come to do the front bumper build of the Polo, middle part of January. What I'll do is I'll just pull the front end off of this and modify that bracket to suit so it comes off the body rather than off the subframe. But again, that's no big deal. Oh, apart from that, maybe another couple of hours work when we get the bits, which today's Christmas Eve, December the 24th. Yeah, we won't be getting them till January, so whatever. Apart from that, if you like the video, please leave a like. If you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.